In terms of EBITDA yield, Automotive Holdings Group Limited, ASX AHG, currently has a value of 8.82%. This value is derived by dividing EBITDA by enterprise value. Piotroski F-Score. The Piotroski F-Score is a scoring system between 1 to 9 that determines a firm's financial strength. The score helps determine if a company's stock is valuable or not. The Piotroski F-Score of Automotive Holdings Group Limited, ASX AHG, is 4. A score of 9 indicates a high-value stock, while a score of 1 indicates a low-value stock. The score is calculated by the return on assets, ROA, cash flow return on assets, CFROA, change in return of assets, and quality of earnings. It is also calculated by a change in gearing or leverage, liquidity, and change in shares in issue. The score is also determined by change in gross margin and change in asset turnover. The gross margin score is calculated by looking at the gross margin and the overall stability of the company over the course of 8 years. The score is a number between 1 and 100, 1 being best and 100 being the worst. The gross margin score of Automotive Holdings Group Limited, ASX AHG, is 1. The more stable the company, the lower the score. If a company is less stable over the course of time, they will have a higher score. Price index. The price index is a ratio that indicates the return of a share price over a past period. The price index of Automotive Holdings Group Limited, ASX AHG, for last month was 0.97238. This is calculated by taking the current share price and dividing by the share price 1 month ago. If the ratio is greater than 1, then that means there has been an increase in price over the month. If the ratio is less than 1, then we can determine that there has been a decrease in price. Similarly, investors look up the share price over 12-month periods. The price index 12 meters for Automotive Holdings Group Limited, ASX AHG, is 0.84521. Another useful indicator to assist in debt meaning rank is the ERP5 rank. This is an investment tool that analysts use to discover undervalued companies. The ERP5 looks at the price-to-book ratio, earnings yield, ROIC and 5-year average ROIC. The ERP5 of Automotive Holdings Group Limited, ASX AHG, is 1467. The lower the ERP5 rank, the more undervalued a company is thought to be. Looking further, the MF rank, aka the magic formula, is a formula that pinpoints a valuable company trading at a good price. The formula is calculated by looking at companies that have a high earnings yield as well as a high return on invested capital. The MF rank of Automotive Holdings Group Limited, ASX AHG, is 3205. A company with a low rank is considered a good company to invest in. The magic formula was introduced in a book written by Joel Greenblatt, entitled The Little Book That Beats the Market. Earnings yield. The earnings to price yield of Automotive Holdings Group Limited, ASX AHG, is 0.051531. This is calculated by taking the earnings per share and dividing it by the last closing share price. This is one of the most popular methods investors use to evaluate a company's financial performance. Earnings yield is calculated by taking the operating income or earnings before interest and taxes, EBIT, and dividing it by the enterprise value of the company. The earnings yield for Automotive Holdings Group Limited, ASX AHG, is 0.067265. Earnings yield helps investors measure the return on investment for a given company. Similarly, the earnings yield 5-year average is the 5-year average operating income or EBIT divided by the current enterprise value. The earnings yield 5-year average for Automotive Holdings Group Limited, ASX AHG, is 0.060465. ROIC. The return on invested capital, aka ROIC, for Automotive Holdings Group Limited, ASX AHG, is 0.2323. The return on invested capital is a ratio that determines whether a company is profitable or not. It tells investors how well a company is turning their capital into profits. The ROIC is calculated by dividing the net operating profit, or EBIT, by the employed capital. The employed capital is calculated by subrating current liabilities from total assets. Similarly, the return on invested capital quality ratio is a tool in evaluating the quality of a company's ROIC over the course of 5 years. The ROIC quality of Automotive Holdings Group Limited, ASX AHG, is 29.577502. This is calculated by dividing the 5-year average ROIC by the standard deviation of the 5-year ROIC. The ROIC 5-year average is calculated using the 5-year average EBIT, 5-year average, net working capital and net fixed assets. The ROIC 5-year average of Automotive Holdings Group Limited, ASX AHG, is 0.286275. The Value Composite 1, VC1, is a method that investors use to determine a company's value. The VC1 of Automotive Holdings Group Limited, ASX AHG, is 13. A company with a value of 0 is thought to be an undervalued company, while a company with a value of 100 is considered an overvalued company. The VC1 is calculated using the price-to-book value, price-to-sales, EBITDA to EV, price-to-cash flow, and price-to-earnings. Similarly, the Value Composite 2, VC2, is calculated with the same ratios but adds the shareholder yield. The Value Composite 2 of Automotive Holdings Group Limited, ASX AHG, is 23.